Going on, guys? Chris Lavish Lawns here, giving you a review on this little mini skid steer dingo. This right here is the HX 380 with 800-pound lift. It's got a 23 horsepower motor, 739 cc, and it's got a platform right here where you can stand. It flips up like this, just in case you need to load it up or get into certain areas. We added this to it to help with the oil changes. That way you just put it in a little bucket right here, unscrew this, so you could add that if you wanted to. They come from overseas with crappy oil in them and crappy hydraulic fluid, so it's always recommended with these that you drain the hydraulic fluid and you drain the oil right when you get them. So this one right here has 311 hours on it, so I've put a decent amount of use on this thing. But the whole thing is that there's a little thing over here on the side for the electronics that you have to turn on and off whenever you're wanting to start it up. But if you leave this thing on, then it'll just rack up hours without you even using it. So that's why it says 311 hours. I probably only put like 100 and some hours on it, but so that's one of the negatives that I really don't like, because I really don't know the accurate number of hours, because sometimes you'll forget to flip this back up, and then 24 hours later, 2 days later, it racked up a bunch of hours on there. So but it is a pretty cool machine. It gets in the gates. It's only 48 inches wide, so you can get in a bunch of gates. Tight, compact, got the tracks here. You can go through mud, gravel, grass, any kind of terrain that you want with this. It even goes up hills pretty well. There's a lockable little gate right here. You have your little radiator here, and the radiator actually swings, so you can swing this radiator out, and it's easy to maintain anything in there. Got your battery down there in the bottom, your hydraulic tank here if you need to fill up any hydraulic fluid. Yeah, it's pretty simple mechanics in there, so really easy to access anything. I haven't had any issues with it that I've had to fix thus far. It's a pretty solid machine. It is Chinese made, so it's made cheap, which the price tag is really cheap. So I think I paid like $7 grand for this, but I've seen where you can get some of them for $5 grand. If you can get them at the auction, sometimes you can even get a even better deal. So I mean, for the money, they're definitely worth it in my opinion. There are some little quirks to them, like I'll show you over here. This track right here always wants to pop off on me, so you got to be really careful. You grease this fitting right here, and it expands the track and tightens it up. So I always have to make sure this one, it's only the left side for some reason, only the left side pops off. But I was going over some plywood, and the plywood broke off, and a piece of the plywood broke off, and it got stuck in this little wheel right here. And then ever since then, it popped the track off, and ever since then, that's the problem track, and it keeps on popping off. And I've heard other owners of these saying that one of the tracks pops off as well. So I think that might be one of the issues with this machine. But as long as you can kind of notice when it feels like it's about to go off, and then you go backwards and forwards and go real easy, and then you can usually avoid that. So it's a little touchy here and there. And then the throttle right here, this has always been an issue with me too. There's a little bolt underneath here, and it gets loose, and you keep trying to tighten it and everything else, and once it loosens, the throttle just comes up a little bit. So you'll be at full throttle, and then it'll just go half throttle on you just from the vibrations and moving it up. And then this linkage in here in the accessory thing kind of gets loose and messed up, so it's kind of a little bit janky, a little bit hard to push, but it's still, everything's still operational and everything else. I took this cover off that comes with a cover on the back, but I took it off just because to get more airflow, because it's an air-cooled engine, so you want as much airflow as you can getting back there and whatnot. So I'll fire it up and we'll see how she runs. This it's got a grapple on the front of it. It has a Titan Attachments grapple. Typically you get a bucket with it, but This grapple right here is really good for taking out shrubs and lifting up trees, branches, anything like that. So, but yeah, we'll fire her up, see how she goes. Got a pretty good lift capacity on this trailer. I used to have it 3 high, but now I only have it 2 high, just because of how high it will lift. But it gets over that. You could do a whole big shrub, just grapple that whole shrub, take it straight to the trailer, turn it around, dump it, and just go rip another one out. So it does come in handy. It does go a decent height, because I'm about, what, 5'10", so you're about 6 foot on the height that you can lift it and drop it. So, but overall, I think this is a good machine, definitely worth the money, because the dingos are, what, 40,000. You can get this for anywhere between 5,000 and 7,000, brand new. I've had about 100 and some hours on it, and I haven't really had too many issues. Fires right up, has got the jobs done. Just a little bit. It's definitely cheaply made, and I don't know how long it's going to last, but it'll definitely make your money back, and when you're saving up for the big boy. So a good starter mini skid steer, definitely gets the job done. Other than that, I think that's it. We'll catch you on the next one. Like, comment, subscribe.